Vous avez commencé tout ça, toutes les équipes. Vous avez aggravé les choses.
You made it worse. What? Okay, so some kind of lab.
Yeah. Is that a broken beaker or something?
Yeah. Whoa, a computer works?
Yeah.
So if a computer works, that must mean they have electricity somewhere.
Yeah, or battery packs.
That's not a battery pack. She's copying something. Was that copy? What is it?
They're grabbing files? Papers to TB. What did that say?
Yes. Go on that computer and look at what you just did.
Yeah.
Problem, as I see it, is that the samples.
Whoa, Jenner!
Jenner!
TS19!
Too many variables. We can't get an accurate picture of the biology involved. At least from the start. We obviously have seen the end. Still, we will have fresh samples soon. That's a certainty. Reviewed the latest data on your side, and the use of cardiac plaques as a host medium for steroidal therapies jumpstart the circulatory system, short-circuiting the brain or perhaps regaining function to cause nerve confusion is
You know, that's new. Jenner wasn't talking about that before.
Vous êtes un des médecins?
Oui.
They're French.
They said the French were the last to hold out, remember?
It was the French. They were the last ones to hold out as far as I know. They stayed in the labs till the end. They thought they were close to a solution.
So this is after everything goes down.
Violet.
Elle est où l'équipe Primrose?
J'étais pas ici quand c'est arrivé, quand vous avez tous fait ce que vous avez fait. J'étais à la conférence, à Toledo, Ohio.
We know who's there.
Je serais en train de travailler et vous étiez sur le point d'y arriver.
Pourquoi vous êtes revenu?
J'en avais assez d'être encore là. Il fallait que je revenais ici, dans le travail. Il pourrait mettre fin à tout ça.
To look up what that means in Latin later.
Et qui revient d'une manière ou d'une autre, comme vous, nous ne les emprisonnerons pas comme les autres. On les tuera. Mettre fin à ça. Vous avez commencé tout ça, toutes les équipes. Vous avez aggravé les choses.
You made it worse. What?
We haven't seen anything like that here at all, nothing close. I hope this finds you as well as you can be. The day will come when we are going to beat this thing.
This is like she's going to turn now, but this is like way in the future. We might have to go back and watch their dialogue again. I thought it made it sound like they could reverse the zombie.
It's running?
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't clap it in the head.
We gotta rage.
Well, when they're fresh, they're
No,
like that.
dude.
You think like 28 days later, rage virus?
1,000% that was running. Now look at the last couple of years of The Walking Dead. Just in general, The Walking Dead.
Yep.
They don't run like that since season 1.
No, that's true. That is true because but they were all fresh though. We've been seeing nothing but old walkers though, and we haven't really seen anybody turn where they let them get out. They always turn their TV off right away.
We've seen them turn immediately after someone did something to them. So, all right, we're gonna pause this real quick, gather some thoughts, come back. All right, folks, this might get a little crazy for like some of the jump cuts that you're going to see. What we're going to try to do is, because we're super damn curious now about this, we're going to kind of go into our thoughts, reaction towards it. I mean, that was pretty crazy intense scene right there. Did we just see a rage walker, or is we seeing like the walkers from season 1 when all those walkers were running after Rick?
Yeah.
Before he just got into the tank.
That is true. So, they were faster.
There were some nuggets in here that we're going to try to break down quick. We're going to do some stills. We're going to kind of, slow the process down.
Okay.
And kind of jump into that.
So that file just means the model. That's all it means.
Well, that's good to know. Apparently, clearly this is French.
Yep.
So they're doing some kind of copying right here, right?
Jenner said the French were the last to hold out as far as he remembered when our crew got there in season 1, episode 6.
All right, so right here, folks, like I said, this thing is going to be kind of all over the map. So if we're annoying, sorry. We're just excited.
Yeah.
We want to kind of do a pause, breakdown, and see how some of this goes. Yep. And the reason why we're doing it, too, is because by now, if we haven't been clear about this before, copyrights are a bitch.
Yes.
So we can only show so much at a time before good old YouTube decides to start blocking some stuff. Mm-hmm. So be patient with us here, folks. We're going to start off with some of Jenner's early dialogue, see if there's anything there.
Yeah,
and maybe this makes the cut. We don't know.
That the samples we have simply aren't fresh. Too many variables involved in how the clock affects them.
He mentioned that
we can't get an accurate picture of the biology involved, at least from the start.
Because you remember in season 1, he had the fire inside the lab and he lost the freshest samples when he cut his glove. He's like, no, those are the freshest samples. So that makes sense right here with this.
The French and him were... Now, we didn't know this at the time, and we're just finding this out now.
Yeah,
and if there was something that we missed over the
in
11
season
years,
1.
let us know. But so clearly he was working with the French remotely with these samples the whole time, which I think is just awesome.
Yeah. While there was still communications up.
Mm-hmm.
Reviewed the latest data on your side. The use of cardiac plaques, a host medium for steroidal therapies, a jumpstart the circulatory system in the hopes of short-circuiting the brain or perhaps regaining function, cause nerve confusion.
Okay, so I think he's talking about having an actual cure for the virus.
That's what I got out of that.
Because he talks about the heart, jump-starting the brain, whatever, and getting things back going again.
Yeah, jump-starting the nervous system. So with that, with him talking like that, clearly he was trying to figure out the start of maybe a potential.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a cure for you get your TV turned off, you get deleted, and then they can bring you back. I think it's no, if you get a bite, they can inject you with this, it'll fight the virus. Like you said, restart the nervous system, get all that going. So it's not bringing people back, it's fighting the bites, the scratches, whatever.
And we are all anxiously awaiting anything to come back from the first trial.
Now, see, he's still talking.
Yep. Yeah, we knew he was low on fuel and everything at the CDC.
L'équipe Primrose?
Not kidding. So everything counts that much more.
J'étais pas ici quand c'est arrivé.
Almost broke the Petri dish yesterday.
Yep.
And almost put my fist through a wall.
Yep, we saw all that.
Glad the other Dr. Jenner
she was
stopped
still
me.
alive.
So she's still alive in this, folks.
Yep.
See, this is very important stuff here. The infirmary's closed, sealed, actually sealed.
Okay, so some of the team was still left at the CDC. And she ends up being the last test subject.
Activating systems to work. Whoa.
Reanimation.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Work against reanimation is a promising idea. So that was a lot.
That was a ton of information that you would never have if you didn't have subtitles on. You know, people used to mock me for always having the subtitles on when I watch movies. Now you know why. All right, now we're going to find out what that means up on there. I think morts means like death.
So, folks, while he's looking up at the signage right there, how crazy is this now? If you didn't have your subtitles on, like he was just saying, you would have missed this conversation that Jenner was having, which I think is highly, highly important. So I don't know if anyone else is doing this, but I hope the other reactors are taking a moment to at least have the subtitles on so that they can see this as well. And we highly recommend, if you haven't had the subtitles on to watch this, go back right now, well, after this reaction, and then go watch it for yourself as well.
Yeah, you'd be missing a lot. And the words written up there on that little area, that little brick area, yeah, it says the dead are born. That's what it translates to from French to English. The dead are born. So, onward.
For example, we can build up acid in bodies that don't have blood flow. Jump-starting circulation.
Yep.
Simultaneously.
Yep, two things.
And attack it.
Okay, so she was working with Jenner, I bet, on the cure.
Variant cohorts you referred to in our last communication.
Variant rage.
Yep.
Like that here at all. Nothing close.
See, he said they haven't seen that yet. Nothing close. They've only had this rage-type virus in Europe, which, if you're a fan of 28 Days Later, like I am, drawn some conclusions there.
Guys,
there's so much going on here.
So much going on right now. And again, I'm going to preach this again. If you don't have your subtitles on during this post-credit scene, you are missing out on very, very valuable information.
Yeah.
Again, we highly recommend that you go back, turn the subtitles on. I can't guarantee everything is going to make this edit or this cut that you're probably watching right now, so we may have missed something, but holy cats and dogs. A lot has went on here. All right, so we are now introduced to a variant, according to Dr. Jenner there.
Yep. That was only in Europe. They hadn't seen it in America yet.
That was only in Europe. I don't know if you folks caught that, but that zombie was running.
Real fast.
And I think you and I are going to stay with the tagline, the Rage variant.
Yep.
Now, that's obviously unofficial, but that Rage variant, like you said, reminds me exactly like 28 weeks later.
28 days later, 28 weeks later, that's exactly the same thing. And it also showed like we were saying earlier, they only had it in Europe, not in America. If you remember in the first season, Jenner said the French were the last to hold out. That's obviously where all this takes place. So we're kind of getting caught up on that.
How is this going to tie into the Rick movies?
I bet they got him in Europe cleaning house.
That would make sense, right? That Rick is over in Europe. And that's why he has not been back for 6 years. I mean, that's the only logical thing I can think of.
Because we just saw how easy they make traveling cross country. We saw Morgan go from Alexandria to Texas, essentially on foot. We've seen Hope and Iris cover a ton of ground. I mean, they walk.
Hope and the gang.
Yeah, we saw them walk to Portland. So clearly, navigating America by foot isn't a problem in this universe. But if they get you over the pond over in Europe, which is probably where Rick is, which would make filming a lot easier, don't you think?
They should for Rick, but I don't know if they really even started for Mr. Andy Lincoln over there.
But yeah, I got to believe that's the only reason that we haven't seen Rick in 6 years back on the main show.
Yeah, so again, I don't know how this is going to tie. I believe that this is not going to even have any tie-in to The Walking Dead in their final episodes. Maybe not, to kind of send it off into the Rick movie.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I don't think it's going to have any bearing as of this moment, November 28th. Right now, I don't think it's going to tie into season 11 at all. Maybe the last episode as they go to send us off into the Rick movies. But again, that rage variant is going to now present a huge problem.
Yep, the zombies will actually be problems again, not just an inconvenience.
Yeah, and no more of
just shove them out of the way. I'll hold back two of them.
Boom! You better have a good shot for the head because
they're moving.
And they're coming at you hard and fast. Yep. So,
and a lot of what the dialogue said of, I'll just call him, the soldier came upon the scientist on the computer. He was essentially blaming the scientist for causing things to be the way they are. So what's his story? Is he some vigilante group? Is he part of another crew that's trying to end things? There's a ton of stuff there, guys, to dive in the 5-minute or so clip they gave us here.
Right. Actually, I do want to kind of take us back to the dialogue before we send this home here.
No,
He mentioned a team. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Yeah.
Our good old Wi-Fi will work.
You mean Jenner's team that he had at the CDC?
Nope. This dude.
Oh, this guy. Okay, the cigarette-smoking soldier, we'll call him. Shout out to X-Files, the cigarette-smoking man here.
So right here, folks, that team.
Yep,
I don't ever recall it being in the
Primrose
comics.
team.
Do you remember something?
No, I don't remember seeing anything about that. The only thing I saw in the comics was briefly there was some rumors of Rick having a brother in Europe. I did see some stuff about that. I don't know if it was just an idea that Kirkman had, but I do remember something to that effect.
So obviously this is going to tie into so many cliffhangers, man, that it's not even funny with World Beyond here. I mean, now we got, who was this scientist? Are we ever going to get a backstory on her?
Yep.
I mean, and now that they took us way back to the beginning with Jenner and these two.
Well, now it's potentially the beginning. Now, she was watching saved data, so who knows when this actually takes place. All we know is she's watching Jenner's earlier tapes that came about before Rick and company got there.
That's true. I should take a hint with how they did all this right here.
Yeah, it's all grown over. It's all trashed. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I am curious to find out who that team is too. But folks, again, with anything that you know, of course we want to interact with you on this. This was heavy. I'm sure we actually probably missed some points here in this conversation. So anything that we missed, please drop down. We want your theories. We want everything. So let's go and chat this one out in the comments for sure.
So another thing that we just wanted to catch on here as we're wrapping up was that this guy is here blaming the French scientists for either causing the rage variant or causing the whole disease to begin with. He's trying to find the different teams, the Primrose team, the Violent team, and we're looking at it right now. That's what he's looking for.
They weren't here when it happened. So like you said, they were blaming this dude, whoever he is, blamed the French scientist here.
Yep.
So are the French to blame for the zombie apocalypse?
A strange disease escapes the lab. That's never happened before.
Never. Yeah, he just pops it right here.
Yeah.
If they come back like you, we'll kill him and not take him to jail.
Yep, so he probably means not come back from the dead like he's saying that if you try to come back and do the research, you're getting your TVs turned off just like everybody else. and that's what's going to happen to them. They're not jailing anybody, they're just taking them out.
Again, the scientists in this world,
They don't make it, man.
they just do not make it. So again, folks, let's get in the comments. A lot to digest here. A lot of theories that we can throw out, or maybe stuff that you may know that we didn't cover.
Yep.
Let's get in the comments and chat this one out. So
Yeah, and if I'm honest, more stuff happened in this last 5 minutes than in that whole episode of World Beyond. So, for Diamond Dave Damone, I'm Mason Quinn. Guys, we will see you on Fear the Walking Dead.